Jacksonville.
Man, y'all know what time it is. T-Law got the eyes of Lee Van Cleef when he go in that field.
Checks it down underneath. That's a crossing route to Christian Kirk. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Christian Kirk to the goal line. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
They made a major mistake when they made T-Law go to the spirit of the sky, to the oracle of the saber-toothed tiger, and the saber-toothed tiger now has the scepter in his hand, and he been to put every critic to rest. Man, last night I done marinated 2 turkeys. I got my cherry wood getting ready for my smoker. Just got off from work, off Pritchard Road. I'm gonna bake me 2 Cornish hens. My special recipe, I call it the Mediterranean Cornish hen. I'm gonna top it off with my homemade Long Island iced tea. And I'm only gonna top it off with 1 red top of Coca-Cola. The Maxwell House coffee will live on forever. Duval!
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. I mean, Holiday Tony could read anything. He could read a Chinese menu. He could read a kid's book, like one of those little golden books, and I would enjoy it every single time. Everything that comes out of his mouth.
I know Al shared with Dylan last week that first call that we ever got.
Oh, yes.
From Holiday. He had never been exposed to it. And it really is like being near a lightning strike.
Or a nuclear bomb.
Right. Like, it's
crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy what he did the first, because we had no idea. It's like, all right, let's go to Holiday up next on the phone lines. And then you got that. It was
Mediterranean
nuts.
Cornish hen. I love it, man.
Look what I see.
Look what I see here. Look what I see.
What'd you see?
Pockets is here. What's going on? The 3 of us are together. Can you believe it? It's July 16th, and we haven't done a show together all month. Seriously.
One time for this week.
Right. And then beginning tomorrow, Tony's back on vacation. But that's the way it goes. Pockets, how was your sojourn up to the great Northeast?
It was good, man. Saw Fenway, got a Sox game, toured TD Garden. It was all right. Kind of saw Devers hit a home run, which was pretty much, the only player that I really wanted to see for the Sox. And did a lot of walking around the town, man. Not a lot of people have Southern hospitality up there. I learned that up there.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So what was it like? You just bumping into
everybody?
people?
No, just walking past each other. Like we went to a park and just everybody just keeps themselves.
Giving the head nod?
Narrow, not even.
Nothing coming back.
The only person that talked to us was a little kid that was just being a kid. He was like 3 or 4 years old. He's like, "Hi." Hi.
That was in between bites of Dunkin' Donuts,
I
take?
Probably.
Right? That's pretty popular up there. So, all right. So, what was the total time spent in the Boston area?
Got there Friday afternoon, left there yesterday morning at 8.
Kind of a long weekend trip.
Yeah.
What was the highlight? Was there a single highlight?
Torrent Fenway.
Okay.
Yeah. Went to Cape Cod, too. I didn't tell you about that. We went for an afternoon, walked 2 beaches.
Rich guy.
Yeah. Man, I saw one golf course right beside a beach. I cannot imagine the amount of golf balls I'd hit on that beach. But
we got a few by a beachside down in these parts here.
We do.
Too. I've seen you spray. You can spray it pretty well everywhere. Although, rumor has it Dylan's getting it dialed in, Tony. That's what he's been saying.
Driver.
Lately. Oh, just the driver.
Yeah, just the driver.
All right, well, that's the most important club in the bag.
Yeah.
Right? Even though you only hit it max of 14 times, it's still the most important club in the bag because it makes you feel like a man when you hit it well. So it's good to have you back, Dylan Denmark. We thought about starting the show with the national anthem today and thought,
oh my gosh.
maybe not.
You should have sung it. It wouldn't be any worse.
I don't know if it's the worst of all time. I'll be honest. I was on the air last night. Didn't watch any of the home run derby. I didn't hear the national anthem. Saw all the social media posts and had to. All right, how bad was it? It was bad.
Is it bad?
I don't know. Carl Lewis still pretty damn bad.
Carl Lewis is the funniest.
Was that national TV?
Hold on. I'll make up for it right here.
I'm going to make up for it right. Like he's talking to you in the middle of it. I don't know. What was the event that Carl Lewis did that?
It was a basketball game.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was national TV at the time or not. But
I don't think it was.
But, I mean, it's certainly apparently like Is it a good thing? The whole no publicity is bad publicity thing. I had no idea who Ingrid Andress was prior to last night, or really this morning for me, but for a lot of people, 4-time Grammy-nominated country artist. Is that the state of affairs in country music these days? Is it that bad? Oof. Holy cow, man. I mean, whew. Why do you take that assignment if you can't nail that? That's not an easy song to sing, apparently. But you see little kids, man. You see little kids like at minor league games get up there. Maybe some like 9-year-old little girl in her Sunday finest up there belting it out. And you're like, damn, man, that girl's got pipes.
Especially if it's the people that we've seen really go off the rails doing it. Like Fergie, I know, is the one that people compare it to a lot. She's been on stage in front of big audiences a ton. And for that song to still get on top of her, right, the way that it did, like it could just happen from time to time. Looking it up, by the way, Carl Lewis, that was a Bulls-Nets game.
Yeah, 93.
In 1993.
It's kind of a random thing, right? I mean, the Bulls were obviously hugely popular back then.
It says the Garden State Club was hosting the Bulls on January 21st, 1993 at the Meadowlands.
Huh. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, Carl Lewis, I get it. If you can sing, Carl Lewis is a sporting icon, man. He's, the modern day Jesse Owens was back in the 80s.
No doubt.
For pulling off the...
Like I said, his is certainly the funniest I've ever seen. Right? Like him talking to you in the middle of it.
Like, what are we doing here, man? But anyway, maybe we'll just go with God Bless America. When you get somebody who really can belt out God Bless America, that's amazing.
It's beautiful.
Right? It really is, right? And you see, like with the MLB package the last few years, that's the one thing they don't cut away from.
Yeah, in the stretch.
Right, in the 7th inning stretch, we're going to stay here, and they'll actually show that. They cut away from all the little local commercials and things like that. So anyway, we're burying the lead here. You know what the word of the week is now? Throwbacks.
No doubt.
Throwbacks are coming. Jaguar throwbacks. You've been waiting for them. I mean, we've known they're coming, right? John Ogier, not exactly Mr. Poker Face all the time. Last time he was in with me, Tone said something to the effect of, I don't know exactly how he framed it, but it was like, yeah, it's coming, but I can't. I'm, sworn to secrecy on the whole thing. So 2 days until the unveiling of the Jaguar throwbacks, which, honestly, just give us like the 1997 era uni. That's all you need to do.
If you were waiting if you're one of these more nervous jersey buyers, right? Like, I don't want to buy it till I know the guy's going to be here for about a decade, right? Well, we found out about a couple of guys that are going to be here for about a decade here over the course of this offseason. So but
now already you got to get the Allen to the Heinz Allen. You got to get the jersey
switch
swap.
If you already had the other one. But if you haven't bought it yet, now you get to go buy a Josh Heinz Allen jersey in a throwback. Which is amazing.
That's not bad.
You can get a Trevor Lawrence jersey in a throwback.
That's not bad.
Right? Which is pretty incredible. But for the fans that already have either of those jerseys anyway, go get the throwback too.
Oh, well.
Like fans who collect the jerseys, like that kind of thing, they're not going to have a problem going, I already have a Trevor Lawrence jersey. Okay.
Right, but that's the total point. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
That's why they
people get excited.
Stuff, no doubt.
It's marketing. They're going to sell new version of the jersey, right?
Absolutely.
And so be it, man. Make your money, and take it and then pour it into that new stadium.
Yeah.
All right? And I'm fine with it. I'm I hope the Jags prosper and make every cent. Nobody's forcing you to buy a throwback if you don't want it, but I know there is a clamoring on social media for it. Speaking of
I wonder if they will have like throwbacks, right? Like, are they going to sell Fred Taylor jerseys as throwbacks?
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah, I would think they would.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, you can get it anyway. You can get the number and the name that you want on the jersey anyway.
Right.
If you wanted to go that way. But just to have it in the store.
Well, to have it now, like you said, to have a Lawrence 16 in that version, because he actually wore it in a game.
Yeah.
And, tying the eras together. Dylan, I'm concerned for you, young man.
Okay, what happened?
All right, well, you and Tony, apparently, Tony told me you kicked around the idea of it's like the swear jar, but every time you don't do the Heinz Allen, right? And we agree. I know Josh says he prefers Josh, but Joshua Heinz Allen just rolls off the tongue easier. But as long as you get the Heinz Allen part right, it's right. And are you financially able to put $1 in the jar every time?
No, I'm not.
All right. Just checking on
That's why I haven't put a jar there yet.
All right. Just check. I want to be careful.
I was hoping that somebody else from the station would be listening and they would do it.
Oh, they would do it for you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't know who's...
Apparently, that's not how we work around here.
I don't know who... I mean, look, and I'm not counting on you to get it right with my wallet. All right, today's question of the day. It's a Tuesday top 5, and we'll get into the countdown coming up in our next segment. But the question of the day, as we told you what it would be yesterday, your top 5 reasons for optimism heading into Jaguars training camp. Throwbacks. Hey, 5 throwback, 1 through 5. Throwbacks, throwbacks, and throwbacks. So we're happy to have the band back together, albeit for a day. Jaguars Today, you want to be a part of it? Join us on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines at 641-1010. Same number for the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, or hit us up on social media. We'll run through all those coming up in a minute. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Pella Windows and Doors. I rave about Pella all the time. Why wouldn't I? I trust them to come in and replace all the windows in my house. That includes the sliding glass door, the whole thing. My house looks beautiful. It feels great. Pella is just a top-notch company. And you know what? Consumer Reports will tell you they're the best in the industry. Whether you're building a new home, maybe you're just replacing your windows, or a trade professional working with clients, the design experts at Pella can help your project run as smoothly as they did mine, and it'll look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella Showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. 1010XL.
For the second time, the Gators celebrate as national champions.
Home of the Florida Gators.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
A no-risk, all-rewards path to real weight loss. If you're not happy with your Awaken 180 results in the first week, get 100% of your money back. No risk, but every reward. With the solution for weight loss, Awaken180weightloss.com.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are looking for top talent to join our team. If you are a plumber, CDL driver, or have experience installing septic drain fields, come join Duck Duck Rooter and let's win together. We offer our players a full package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and new state-of-the-art equipment. Log on to DuckDuckRooter.com and click on the careers page to apply. That's DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
Good people drink good beer, and great people drink Mocama, a refined craft brewery out of Fernandina Beach, Florida. Mocama Beer Company brings sophisticated flagship beers, including Cosmico IPA and Dune Garden Lager, to the greater Jacksonville area. Whether you're hitting the water with friends or enjoying a backyard barbecue, Mocama has the perfect beer for your summer activities. Look for us wherever great beers are sold and find your Mocama.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Cooking with Prisco.
These things are wonderful. You're going to love it. Have a Rolaids.
Catch CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco every Friday afternoon on The Franchi Show. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Hey, Jaguar friends, I'm Donovan Darius, former 10-year NFL strong safety for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm hosting my free Tackling Technique Jaguars camp for kids ages 10 to 14 on July the 27th. This Jaguar camp will have some of my former Jaguar teammates out there coaching the kids on all the fundamentals that it takes to be a great tackler. To get involved, just go to DariusNextLevelTraining.com to sign up your kids ages 10 to 14. If you'd like to sponsor, you can go to the same website, DariusNextLevelTraining.com.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From Roll-and Lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Bianna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Hidden Hills Golf Club, we truly love the game of golf. We invite you to book your next tee time here and enjoy a golfing experience that you might not find at other public facilities. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Far play action, drops back in the pocket, has time, fires a pass, he's looking, intercepted, Rasheed Mathis at 2. Now makes the grab, there he goes, 30. There's Keenan at the 20, he's at the 10, 5, touchdown Jacksonville.
Smith is getting frustrated, Roselli doing a good job. Watch how he blows Smith off the ball.
Down to the 25, an inside move, leaping for the 21. Mark Brunell with a masterful run. And it's a draw again, Taylor going outside to the 10, breaks a tackle, looking for room inside at the 15, outside, there he goes, it's a foot race, Taylor's gone. Touchdown! Jacksonville, 90 yards.
That's the audio from Jaguars.com from the post that they put out, the Jags put out. Some of the highlights of the great throwback era, Tony. So go check it out. Obviously, if you're, in today's day and age, you probably got social media. You can find it very easily on the X platform.
Yes.
Just go to the Jags profile and watch the video and get hyped for what's coming in a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
People love them some throwback uniforms, or the idea of the throwback uniforms. Now you got to go out and win in them. Who do you wear them against, Tone?
Oof.
Right? Because you got to win that game if you're wearing your throwbacks. Otherwise, you got to put them in the closet for another 20 years or so. I don't know, man. We'll see. They'll lay it out to us, and we'll all be on the edge of our seats coming up. And obviously, when they announce that, we'll have that here and discuss it at length. Pockets was getting all like a maestro in there. Felt like he was conducting an orchestra. Do you have any throwback Jaguar gear, Dylan?
Negative.
I mean,
I got like 2 Jag shirts that I got. Our high school coach had a connection, so like. He knew like one of the equipment managers for the Jags at the time. This is about cleats to shorts to T-shirts, and I got like a shirt, but that's about it.
I got you're so bummed you got like a free shirt. It reminds me of the Rashad Jennings story that he told us, Tone.
Oh, yeah.
1 year on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. It's weird, Rashad, we probably talked to him more at the Super Bowl over the years than we ever did when he was actually playing for the Jags.
Right, yeah.
But, Dylan, I don't know if you've heard this. He was in the locker room, and Tony, correct me because I get the details of these things wrong, but MJD was thrown away like a pair of cleats that looked brand new, but, MJ, those guys, would get sent cleats as often as they want. If you want a new pair every day, whoever you were, Nike, Reebok, I don't know, they'd send you a billion of them. And so Rashad's like, what's that can for? Like, what is that? Are those really like going away?
Right.
And he took them out of the can and he started a thing where he, for kids that he would take basically lightly used Jaguar gear. And get it in the hands of kids, or in that case, on the feet of kids. And it's a pretty awesome deal.
Yeah, it was a really great story. When we heard him telling about it, it's like
he's a 7th-round pick, right? Yeah. He's like, oh, my gosh, they're just throwing these away? What are we doing?
It makes sense from the perspective of somebody at that point in their career, like walking in the locker room going, you're doing what with what? What?
Right, and look, MJD's done tons of charitable stuff. I'm not knocking him. It was just when, you're in that mode, people have different lifestyles,
Absolutely,
right? And they're sending you something new every day. You'd probably wear something new every day as well. But Rashad's like, we got to find a way to repurpose this stuff, don't we? And and he did.
He did.
So good for him. All right, want to lay it out there for you. We gave you obviously the Garber Auto Mall phone line and the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. You can hop in the YouTube chat, the virtual studio there, and from time to time I actually look and see what's being said and sometimes choose to not ignore it. And so that's good, but they're fired up about the throwbacks there as well. Or, as always, you can hit us up on the X or Twitter platform at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
Is White Claw a popular beverage in the Boston, Massachusetts area?
I did not see anybody drinking one. I saw a couple boxes in the car, in the recycle bin, but that's about it.
Did you see your cousin from Boston?
Negative.
Your cousin from Boston. That is a pretty funny little shtick that they've got there. You see the latest one where they're sitting there in the hot tub in the play, and the guy's like, excuse me. He goes, oh, sure, we can make room for one more in here. And anyway, I kind of enjoy that. One of the few things I enjoy about the Boston area. All right, we've got our Tuesday top 5 today, and we encourage you in any of those ways on the lines, on the text line, or on social media to submit your top 5 reasons for optimism. These are your personal reasons. We don't have to agree with them. What do you lean into when you look at this team and say, I think the Jags can be pretty good this year, or I'm hoping they can be pretty good this year, or I'm hoping they can get back to being the AFC South champions after a 1-year hiatus last year, just barely missing out. So whatever the case may be, you can submit your top 5 lists, and we will run through ours today as well. So, Mr. Denmark, why don't we begin the countdown?
Number 5.
All right, Tony Smith, why don't you, since you're getting ready to go on vacation, why don't you go with number 5 for you?
Yeah, I'm excited for the turnover-creating potential of the Jaguars safety with Cisco and Johnson. I was really thrilled when they were able to get Antonio Johnson in the 5th round a couple of years ago. Now, really was impressed with what he was able to do on the field when he was on the field. Last year for the football team. Wasn't out there a whole heck of a lot. He's a bit of a man without a single position for the football team, but I think he is playing in a defense where his versatility is going to be fully taken advantage of. Safety, nickel corner, linebacker, pass rusher. I think he can and will be used all over the place, and his ability as a playmaker gives me confidence going into the year.
What you don't want to be a defense that has to rely on creating turnovers to be good, right?
No.
But you want to have the ability to create those turnovers.
And Cisco and Johnson are around the ball constantly.
Absolutely. And, Ryan Nielsen's scheme talks about it's more about the coverage leads to pressure opportunities. They work hand in hand. There are going to be plenty of opportunities if that D-line lives up to its potential to force quarterbacks to get the ball out of their hands just a little bit quicker, and that oftentimes leads to those turnover opportunities. All right, so Tony likes the turnover-making potential of Andre Cisco and Antonio Johnson. Dylan Denmark, number 5 reason for optimism for you for the Jags.
I'm going to go addressing the issue with the defensive line. We all remember a year ago they decided not to do anything about anything with the defensive line, pretty much. So this year they went out and they drafted 2 guys from LSU. Shout out Coach O with Ed Orgeron,
Tigers.
And then Eric Armstead, they get him. The only issue with Eric Armstead is obviously the injury. He's played pretty much half the games the last 2 years. If he can play most of the games this year, this defensive line can be a whole lot better and can be one of the top units, I think, in the NFL.
I think we'll have some overlap in our top 5, but it'll be interesting to see how we prioritize them, and that's what we try to do. Obviously, the number one is going to be the most reason for optimism. For me, at number 5, and I put it this way, this may end up next week in our reasons for concern as well, but on paper, they fixed their most glaring hole. Right? Luke Fortner, you can't run it back with Luke Fortner. If you run it back with Luke Fortner, you're not even trying, right? Well, Mitch Morse was graded by some as the second best run-blocking center in the National Football League, second to Jason Kelce, who, oh, by the way, has retired. So can Mitch Morse help his team in short yardage, in pass protection? Maybe that's probably priorities backwards. You got to protect Trevor Lawrence, obviously, but can we get some push in short yardage? Have they fixed the center position? And by extension, hopefully there'll be a bit of a ripple effect when you don't have to worry if you're Brandon Sheriff about the guy on your left, Tone, being, less than stellar. Yeah. Let's put it that way to be nice. Then hopefully Mitch Morse's presence will have that ripple effect down the entire offensive line. But on paper, at least, they recognized what we felt was their most glaring need, certainly on offense. And they went out and addressed it with about as good an option as there was out there at a reasonable price to come in and be a plug-and-play guy.
Yeah. That's not going to be the last you're going to hear about the center position. I can
is that right?
That. Yes.
All right. Well, the countdown shall continue. So if you want to get in, it's the Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day. Heading into training camp, your top 5 reasons for optimism. That doesn't mean it's all sunshine and roses. We get it. Next week, we're going to do the other side of the coin, your top 5 concerns heading into training camp. But you know what? There are 2 sides of that coin. Today, we're looking at the positive side. So we've given you our number 5. You can submit yours to us in any number of ways that you like. This is Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. You know what? You want to start your day off right with a little scrumptious food in the belly? Swing by the Gate Station. You don't need to pack a big breakfast or even a lunch. Just swing by Gate. You're going to head to the fresh case, and you're going to know that the Dandy and Anytime Deli line of sandwiches and subs are going to be abundant for you, made with high-quality ingredients, locally sourced as often as possible, delivered fresh, daily around the First Coast. Great variety, prices that keep a smile on your face. And when I say variety, it's not just the variety of how many different kinds of sandwiches and subs they have. Sure, they've got all those things, but they've got protein packs if you want a little light pick-me-up on the go. They've got fruit cups. They've got veggie trays. They've got salads. They've got so many different offerings. Everything fresh, everything delicious, created by a local family, the Thompson family. Nearly 70 years ago, the Dandy Company is a local landmark that just continues to get stronger and stronger. So when you're hungry in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Gators. Subscribe to the 1010XL Gators YouTube channel. Up-to-the-minute updates, instant reaction from Gainesville, plus the same 1010XL Gators podcast you've grown to know. And check out 1010XL Gators on YouTube.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Former Jaguars corner and first-year head football coach at Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows, K-12, Aaron Beasley here. Are you looking for an A-rated K-12 school prioritizing academics, arts, and athletics? Duval Charter School at Bay Meadows offers a rigorous curriculum to develop strong minds with an additional focus on growing good hearts. DCSB has been an A school for 8 years, and our tuition is free. Now enrolling. Apply at baymeadowscharter.org.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and now that you have Honda boats on the showroom floor, tell them about the big boat sale.
We are excited. We got a big sale, 11th through 13th. You want to come on down, see us in person. Some of our boats are going to be up to 30 grand off.
Up to 30 grand off?
30,000 in savings. It's a big sale event.
So they can start shopping online at cyclesofjacksonville.com. The size of the boats?
Anywhere from 19 to 24 foot, all with legendary Honda outboards.
Honda and Coach, check them both out on Atlantic near Regency. Cycles of Jacksonville. AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
Sports fans, JJ LaSalva here. When I need to send my bride flowers or a plant for birthdays or anniversaries, I always go with Hume Flowers. After all, they've been the leading florist in these parts for over 75 years. You can always rely on Hume Flowers.
Every weekend is a Stone Cold Sports Weekend. Hey, Dan Hicken here. Watch for the Weekend with Dan on YouTube and Facebook, and I'll help you put together your sports weekend. Weekend with Dan brought to you by Stone Core. We do the outdoors better.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to ShinatriDC.com.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
You could win your share of over $450,000 in cash and prizes at the 5-Star Greater Jacksonville Kingfish Tournament. The fun starts July 13th with the inaugural Kickoff Beach Tournament with a $50,000 cash first prize. There's a junior offshore tournament and one for the lady anglers. Best of all, the general offshore tournament winner takes home a 28T contender with twin 200 Yamahas. Register today at kingfishtournament.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Oh, we got the band together today on Jaguars Today. Feels good. Messrs. Smith, Denmark, and Dempsey here with you. Well, it feels good to me anyway, Tone. I hope it sounds okay.
I'm having a good time, yeah.
Yeah, you're having a good time. You're a short timer, so why wouldn't you have a good time today? Tony's off the next 3 days, and then, we're going to hit the ground running into training camp.
It'll be training camp week.
Then it'll be, maybe a bye week day or two off down the line, but that's way down the line. That's November.
Yeah.
We're talking about right there. I tweeted this out. I don't know much about it. There's a David Garrard production. He's working with some folks, but he's got a thing. If you go to my Twitter feed, at @MD_1010XL, there's, what do they call that? A little QR code in the image I tweeted out. If you want to go to the Jags game versus the Bears in London. I guess they have some ticket packages, but there's a meet and greet that Dave's going to be over across the pond with Marcus Stroud and some other former Jags. Not frontline. They're the headliners of it, but you can check that out. And, if you're into it, great. If you're not, that's fine as well. Just passing that along as we've been fired up with the DGs ready to get back in studio here with us pretty soon and hopefully get this thing turned around and, head towards a much better outcome in 2024. Just checking in on the text line early. Question, has anyone ever seen Holiday? Well, obviously somebody has, but
I assume his wife has.
To my knowledge.
Yeah.
Especially when it says, look here.
Yeah.
Right? You turn your head and there's Holiday. But to my knowledge, no one at the station has laid eyes on Holiday.
Yeah.
He's a working man.
He is.
He's all over the place.
He from the West Side, man. I got to run into him somewhere.
He was looking at that big old Bucky's Beaver.
He was looking at that big Bucky Beaver one time down at, the World Golf Village exit. So he's all over the place doing his thing. He's a legend. And again, Holiday, read a little golden book, and I will listen to that, and I will hang on every word. I just love the guy.
Yeah.
Jags Throwbacks this Thursday. Debut this Thursday. People were fired up about that. Somebody sent me the picture. He says, I'm a real OG Jags fan, and they showed the front and back of their Natron Means business jersey.
That looks like a well-worn jersey,
It does, right? Like that may be like a legit game-used jersey.
Well, he used the heck out of it if it wasn't used in a game. Right, like that looks like a jersey that's been worn plenty.
Yeah, right. It may not be a game used, but and that's look. You do whatever you like. If you want to put them all behind glass and hang them up on your wall, that's you. If you want to wear them until the threads fall apart, that's totally legit as well. Do it how you like it.
I had Jimmy Smith and Mark Brunell jerseys.
Okay,
they might be somewhere floating around in a closet somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where I would have put them at this point in time, but I did have those two players for the Jags when I was a young man.
I've never been a big jersey person myself. Like, I hear some people, I'm never going to wear some other man's name on my back. Like, shut up. All right? Honestly, you're so full of yourself. And I can think of a few specific examples of people that have said that over time. It's sports fandom, man. You're rooting for your team. You're rooting for your guy. It's part of, just being a community of people that are coming together and hoping for a great outcome. And like, I don't understand why people are just rain on everybody's parade. Now, I bet you could cite chapter and verse on all the times I've rained on someone's parade on something I think is stupid.
Sure.
So there is that, right? Yeah. I am an avowed hypocrite when it comes to these kind of situations. Also, somebody said makes you wonder how much auto-tune is used when you talk about the national anthem in the music industry. And the big difference, somebody said on the text line here, designed by Lifetime Enclosures, Carl Lewis isn't a Grammy nominee. True, but if you want to grade on a scale, then yes, a 4-time Grammy nominee should perform much better than Carl Lewis should.
Yeah.
But if you're just talking about someone who stepped to the mic in a public forum to sing a national anthem, I'm not sure he wasn't the worst of all time.
Yeah. What happened last night with the anthem was shameful, like how bad the performance was of the anthem. I'm saying it could have become legendary and something that I would have been able to laugh at for the rest of my life if she, in the middle of it, had said, I'm going to save it here. Right? Like,
Oopsie.
If that had been what happened, if she had it in her head to do that kind of thing with it, at the end of it, I would have been like, yeah, it was a really awful anthem, but it was funny.
Yeah, Dylan, have you ever heard the Carl Lewis anthem?
Oh, yeah.
Right, and he stops and, acknowledges basically, oh, yeah, this sucks.
I know this
but I'm going to bring it home
really
now.
bad.
I'm going to really bring it home now. And people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was when he did the uh-oh. And he goes, hang on a second.
Right, hang on. Anyway, look, that's fine. Grade it on your own scale. I'm not saying that the one last night was the worst of all time. I do think it's probably Mount Rushmore, though, of the ones we can think of.
Yeah.
Right? You either nail that or you don't do it. It's the same with throwing out the first pitch, right? You bounce it up there. I mean, you can bounce it if you got it over the plate, right? Yeah. If you throw that 59-foot fastball, all right. I threw out first pitch once at a Jacksonville Suns game, and I got roasted for throwing a changeup because I was going to guide that thing in there, and I hit the glove, and I thought, hey, probably that's a BP tater right there. Somebody's going to turn that thing around quick. But I was more like, let's not yank it and throw it halfway between home plate and first base, as we've seen.
It's like you're not Nolan Ryan.
No, I'm not. Right. I'm
watching a 65-year-old Nolan Ryan go out there and throw 85 on a first base. Like it's
He's crazy.
This is nuts that he does this.
It's more about that. To me, the accuracy, because a lot of people throw the big looper in there, right? And they catch it, and it's like, oh, it's fine, whatever. And there's no question, I wussed out, and I guided that thing, up there very gently. Very, very gently.
Right.
And, they killed me.
Your desire to not be embarrassed caused embarrassment.
I don't even know why. Like, why would they even ask? They were scraping the bottom of the barrel that day. It was probably in the era when I was doing Suns games with Joe Block over at the baseball grounds. Joe Block, just what a killer career that man has had, man.
Joe is the best.
He is the best. What a voice. And the hilarity. Joe was an original 1010XL founding member.
Yes, he
was.
was.
Did Fight Night with Terry Norvell back in the day. And Joe, as the story goes, was asked to maybe not continue on as the play-by-play guy because maybe they thought he didn't have the voice for it. The major leagues are here to say we disagree. So Joe still sends me Christmas cards every year. He's got a beautiful little family, man.
Frank Franchi hears him every night.
Right, Pirates games. I mean, he worked with Euchre in the booth. Like, I mean, unbelievable. It's not an easy path to get there.
No.
You got to travel around. You got to take every assignment that comes your way and all that stuff. So anyway, just getting a little bit off track right here. Roseanne Barr was the worst of all time. Several people have said we're forgetting her. Wasn't that like purposely bad though?
Like I don't expect if Roseanne Barr is going to be singing something to walk out of that thinking anything but what is happening.
But still, if she got up there and seriously tried to sing the anthem and it was as bad, okay. But she was like, crotch grabbing and like the whole
she was almost like speak
You've never
singing.
seen the Roseanne national anthem?
Hang on, man.
Right. It was like she thought it was like a skit.
It's like she was doing a stand-up routine as the anthem.
And it's the anthem, man. It's the country's national anthem. If you don't want to respect it, don't take the assignment. And I get it. We all have our feelings about whatever, but the anthem should represent, at least to me, what's great about America, right? And we can all, no matter what point of view you come from, you think some things are great. I may think opposite things are great or whatever, but don't take the assignment unless you're trying to do it respectfully. And I'm not saying the woman last night didn't try to do it respectfully.
She fell woefully short.
Failed miserably is the case. All right, let's get back to the countdown. Dylan digs up worst national anthems of all time for his own listening pleasure or amusement in there. Dylan, where are we at?
Number 4.
All right, Mr. Denmark, lead us off.
I'm going to go number 5. I said addressing the defensive line. I'm going to say number 4, addressing the defensive backs. It felt like last year, I can't point to something specifically other than Tyson Campbell getting hurt and him never really coming back healthy after he got hurt, even though he played down the stretch toward the end of the year. The defensive backs never felt like they were on the same page. And so they brought in Darby. They brought in two drafted guys, Jones and Prince. We still don't know anything about, specific positions of what they're going to do. Obviously, we got the new defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, and all that. So I'm going to say optimistic about the defensive backs, number 4 for me.
It's interesting because, some people look and say Darius Williams was one of your best players last year. And I wonder if they just feel like a guy like Darby is just a better scheme fit for what they're trying to do. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. He did have a terrific year, Darius Williams, last year. So that's interesting. There is some new blood in that secondary, to be sure. All right, my number 4, Tone. At number 5, I said on paper, I feel like they fixed their most glaring hole. And that's what they've done. And let's hope it works out. And that's I'm optimistic that it will work out at center. Number 4 for me, the potential big play explosiveness at wide receiver, right? And not that, look, Calvin Ridley averaged about 13.5 yards a catch, which is not chopped liver, was a productive player, no doubt. What do you have, like 76 for over 1,000 last year? But you're bringing in legit 4.3 speed in Brian Thomas Jr. 17 touchdowns, led the highest division, the highest level of college football with those 17 scores. And I get it, Malik Neighbors, who's drawn some attention. Well, That's the way it works sometimes, right? Once upon a time, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase played together at LSU, and they both have turned out to be really damn good. So there's no reason you can't have two really good guys. But in addition to that, we talked about it yesterday. Gabe Davis, the numbers have not been eye-popping in his career in terms of the totals. But again, we loved what Zay did as a Jaguar, but Zay Jones was so much less accomplished when he signed here after 6 years in the league than Gabe Davis has been. And one thing Gabe Davis has is a nose for the end zone and a big play penchant. He's a 15 yards plus catch guy. Trevor Lawrence throwing the deep ball to those guys with Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram working the underneath. Hopefully an improved run game as we talked about the fortification, a little bit of the offensive line, Travis Etienne finding some holes. You know, again, these are reasons for optimism. Does it all work out exactly like you hope or you see it play out? Not often, but the potential is there. Brian Thomas Jr., I feel, is almost a little bit overlooked, right? In that, like, hey, Marvin Harrison, we know he's going to come in and hit the ground running and be the superstar. Well, Brian Thomas was the first-round pick here, man. He's got every measurable you want. He's got crazy productivity. He's got the speed. He's got the size. He's got it all. So let's put it together and let's have some quick strike offense from time to time here in Jacksonville. That's my number 4.
Last year, the wide receiver core would have been at 1 or 2 on pretty much everybody's list if we asked this kind of question going into training camp. This year's different, but I think it has the chance to be a more effective group than what they wound up getting out of that group last year. With, you talk about adding Gabe Davis. He's been an effective deep threat in his time in the league. He's a big target in the red zone, along with the athleticism and speed of Brian Thomas Jr. as a deep threat for a really good deep ball quarterback. And their chance, if one or both those is effective to create those matchups for Kirk and Ingram in the middle of the field, is a really intriguing box of toys for Peterson and Trevor and look, and Press Taylor. It's not a group that I have expected to see highly ranked when you see these ranking lists of the wide receiver group. I don't expect them to be at the top of those kind of lists anywhere when those kind of lists have come out. But it's a real source of optimism for me because of the way that they put this group together, given the strengths of the quarterback they have and the strengths of the different players they have in different positions. I do think you need one of those guys to be effective in a game for everything they want to do in the middle of the field to just go, whoom, right? Like, I do see the potential for that in their offense because I think going into the year, their 2 best receiving threats are Evan Ingram and Christian Kirk. I do
think least most reliable.
Right. Like, I do think that's the case. And I think having one of those 2 outside take the top off guys having an effective day on that Sunday makes the guys who do all that other stuff that much more effective and what they can do in running and calling an offense. So I do think there's the real opportunity for the group to be more effective than the group that they wound up having last year, the way it got put together.
Right. I focused on, like, the downfield explosiveness, but, there's hope beyond that. Like, Devin Duvernay, we never talk about him as what he can contribute to the passing game. We didn't really know what Jamal Agnew could contribute to the passing game, but you get a guy who is a return man by nature. Those guys are dangerous in space, right? So you can create some ways to get the ball in his hands and get those one-on-one opportunities, and then it becomes like a punt return almost, right? And can Parker Washington take a step forward this year? You got to figure as a draft pick last year and maybe the long-term eventual replacement for Christian Kirk, his roster spot is, while not a mortal lock, is pretty darn secure. And then who is that next guy going to be? Will it be Elijah Cooks? Will it be somebody else?
Well, we saw the injury to Zay Jones, really, when we talk about the effectiveness of the group last year, it's hard to know exactly how much that affected, right? The eventual effectiveness of the entire wide receiver room. And I'm not saying that I think this group is a whole lot different from that perspective. I don't think they have to suffer many injuries in the wide receiver room to be like, all right, there it goes. Probably whatever the promise is of this group, I think is heavily reliant on health for the group. That's not something they had last year for the team, unfortunately. Hopefully 2024 is a different story.
All right, hit us up with your top 5, the Tuesday top 5, your top 5 reasons for optimism heading into training camp for your Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
What the?
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
What is this place?
This is 1010XL.
Do the Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
If you're looking for a pre-owned vehicle with lifetime warranty, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Best price, best payment, best trade-in value, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. With a huge selection of pre-owned vehicles, Garber Auto Mall can wiggle it. Visit us in Green Cove Springs or at GarberAutomall.com. And remember, at Garber Auto Mall, there is always a little room for wiggle.
Garber wiggle, Garber wiggle, 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 Garber wiggle.
I'm Patrick Young, inviting you to the Florida SBDC's Network Small Business Success Summit, August 19th and 20th at the Sawgrass Marriott in Ponte Vedra. If you're ready to learn, network, and be inspired, I'll be delivering a keynote message you won't want to miss. Secure your spot today by registering at floridasbdc.org. Hey, there's no time to waste. Right now is the right time. I hope to see you at the Small Business Success Summit in August.
Denny Thompson here. Tackle burglars and protect your turf. Give yourself peace of mind catching everything around your home with Tyson Sound & Security's cutting-edge surveillance cameras. For safety and convenience, Tyson has you covered for all home cameras and security systems. I'm talking HD recording, night vision, and remote alerts, all from your phone or computer. Call Tyson Sound & Security right now at 904-762-1000. Tyson Sound & Security. Security and automation experts.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
It's storm season, and JEA is committed to keeping you informed. In the event of a storm, we'll text and email you about the status of your services. We use Facebook and Twitter to post real-time updates. Our live outage map on JEA.com lets you track restoration progress. And as crews work to restore services, our storm outreach team will be in local neighborhoods to answer your questions. Because as your community utility, JEA is here to keep you safe and connected. Your community, your utility.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You and I know Zero Res loves cleaning carpets in your home, but did you know Zero Res can also clean the carpets where you work? Take a look at the floors where you work, and if they need cleaning, suggest to the boss they call Zero Res. For the month of July, Zero Res offering 20% off all commercial carpet cleaning. Call Zero Res, and they'll come out and give you a free estimate on what it will take to get the job done. Zero Res, man, you spell it forward. Zero Res, you spell it backwards. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
It's Hacker here, checking in from the sunny Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, that's right. I'm down here living the dream with a margarita in one hand and some seafood in the other. And let me tell you, I'm not stressing one bit about gaining any of my 80 pounds back this week. You know the reason? No, it's Awaken 180 weight loss. My metabolism is on fire. I'm burning off calories as fast as I can put them down. I know the 80 pounds is one measurement, but how about this one? I'm now wearing a size 38 pants. That's down from a 46. 8 inches off my waist. Think about that. 8 inches gone in just 4 months. That's absolutely incredible. That's Awaken 180. My confidence is through the roof. I'm even strutting around the beach down here with the shirt off, feeling like a brand new man. It's all about the Awaken 180 magic. If you're ready to make a change, take it from all of us. Awaken 180 is the real deal. Book your summer consult today at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Bucky Brooks, former Jaguar and NFL analyst, named the Jaguars tight end as one of the team's blue chip players.
Would be Evan Inc. I think he's a unique playmaker that deserves to be in his own category in terms of being able to tilt the field for the offense based on what he's able to do.
This year's SEC Media Day event kicked off yesterday and runs through July 18th. 1010XL will have updates throughout the day. The Gators continue to have success in this year's MLB draft. Gator pitcher Fisher Jameson joined Brian Neely as day 2 picks in the draft. Jameson is the 3rd Gator selected. They join pitcher first baseman Jack Caglione and pitcher Brandon Neely. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:56, it's 87 degrees. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Always got to watch Dylan when he flips us over back live on the YouTube virtual studio. You got to keep a close eye on that because there are antics that take place from time to time behind the scenes. And got to make sure I don't mind conducting the orchestra or whatever, and a few little silly things that go along with it, but just got to keep an eye on that, Tony. He's back.
I don't think we do anything. It's just the audio. We have no audio, so we
don't have any audio, but they're just, I don't know. It's just that feeling. It used to be, you go to break, everything's done, mic's off, you're good, go crazy, right? Back in the day, Pockets, when I was in your position as a producer at a previously well-respected sports station that fell into disrepair, it would be cigarette break time for me, like back when I was a smoker. And, the door, we were over in the Bay Meadows location right there, Bay Meadows and Phillips Highway. Mm-hmm. And, break came, make sure everything's running. And then when I started in radio, it was, here, like the carts, like the 8-track carts, like every different commercial was on one. So you had like 3 little boxes and you'd have 3 of them in there and you'd fire one, which would fire the next, which would fire the next. But if you had more than 3 commercials, which you generally do in a break, as this one finishes, you rewind that one real quick, you pop in the next one, and, so it was constant whatever. And then I came in the Jacksonville sports radio, and it was just like the beginning of everything being digital, right? And you'd get it all set up, and then I'd look, okay, everything good. We got 4.5 minutes. I can suck a butt down in that. No problem. And oftentimes, I'd have to back that up with a sports update. So there was some questionable time, sucking wind. We lost the all-time classic, the Michael Beasley.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It really is a shame.
Bro, I'm going to find it.
Oh,
I have it.
You had the Beasley?
You know what? Give me 1 second.
Because we've lost so many.
I know it was titled Hacker Update Disaster.
Kansas State All-American freshman Michael Beasley has declared for the NBA draft.
When was Hacker a smoker?
Beasley, 26 points, 12 rebounds for the Kansas State Wildcats, has declared and will be a top 3 pick in the NBA draft.
Allegedly, he had a frog in his throat, and it just happened in the middle of the update.
It happens.
It happens,
right?
man.
To all of us, right? And but there were some great. Probably the audio I'm most sad we lost about was the producer combine, the final race when we were across the street, the 2 laps around the building. I thought Beef might die that day. I really did. I mean, he came in, dude, like Beef was the shocking leader at the midpoint, maybe even at the 3/4 pole of that thing. And Donna Murphy, I think, ended up winning it, right? And Hacker made a dive on the concrete at the finish line. Yeah. And we had correspondents staked out at a couple of different corners, so we had the whole thing covered. You could see, somebody who was calling the action could see there was no point when you couldn't see people, and all it was 2 laps around the building. But, man, those 2 laps, it sounds easy. And I honestly felt bad. I thought Beef was going to have a heart attack that day. Yeah. Shout out to Beef. Hope he's doing well. So post something up on Beef is a guy who will throw a Facebook post at you now.
Yes, he will.
Right. Man, I just the other day, I went in there, I got a notification. You've got a new friend suggestion. It's gone from friend request to just friend suggestion. And it's probably, I say it's gone. It's probably been that way for a long time because I don't mess with Facebook all that much. But I get, and if I'm sitting there and I get a little pop-up in the corner of my screen, I'll click on it just to see who are they suggesting I should be a friend with on Facebook, seeing as how I don't interact with anyone on Facebook.
Yeah, it's usually nobody you ever interact with.
Oh, and it would be some loose, crazy connection. And so then I go in there and I see, I've got a bunch of friend requests, and I never go back to the ones that have been pending for 40 weeks or I'm just not on there. But so I think this past weekend I might have added 10 new friends on Facebook, and they're probably like, I don't even remember requesting to be a friend. Why are you my friend on Facebook? Yeah. I don't know, man. I never post, so nothing against you. I just go to your page and make sure there's nothing crazy on there. I don't need any more crazy in my life that I already bring to myself. So anyway.
No, I've often said if I was doing a job where the social media thing wasn't part of what I'm doing every day,
probably not be
on the show, I wouldn't have
an account.
Any of it.
I might have one just because I do sometimes, we'll scroll through the timeline. And then what I do now is I find a video, right? And it's weird how, the videos get lumped together. Yeah. One will be dude destroys guy 6 feet taller than him because he was getting bullied, right? And I love the bully gets their comeuppance video, right? And they get a little equal rights and lefts, as they like to call it, right? But then it'll go from that to puppy has a new best friend. It's a dog and a cat snuggling together. What is the algorithm that is telling you I want to go from this to that to somebody's new TikTok dance video? Because,
Or the neighborhood post. The neighborhood posts are the best.
The neighborhood posts?
Yeah, if you join a community and then they're always griping about something about some kid,
In the actual neighborhood?
Yeah.
I try not to go down that rabbit hole.
It's pure entertainment. That's all it is.
Yeah. And the other ones I like the ones where shopkeeper, somebody tries to hold up the shopkeeper and they whip out the gun. They just pop, 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 pop. You didn't expect that, did you? Or maybe sometimes it's a shovel. I saw the one the other day. Somebody was in the jewelry store and somebody comes in with the gun and this guy pulls a machete from behind the counter and he's like, shoot me. And he chases the guy out with the machete. I don't know. That's the content I'm looking for, Tone. What can I tell you? I don't know, though, how the algorithm figures it out, because I generally just go flip from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
Sure.
And
social media.
Yeah, and it's interspersed with a bunch of medical marijuana ads. I got a lot of Cheech and Chong in my timeline as well. So there's that. Go figure. I'm not going to tell you what my search history
Life of Dempsey.
Like.
Well, I'll tell you, I get the Cheech and Chong ads, and I have nothing to do with it.
There's nothing in your search history. Right. So it's everyone getting the Cheech and Chong ads. I'm happy to announce. Dave's not here, man. All right. Why don't we go around the National Football League?
Now, Gems Around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Shacks Beach.
Attorney for New England Patriots wide receiver Kayshon Boutte has told ESPN that the state of Louisiana has dropped the underage gambling and computer fraud charges that were brought against him this past January. Baltimore has placed running back Keaton Mitchell on the team's PUP list to begin training camp. Mitchell suffered a knee injury during the Ravens game against the Jags last December, and Cleveland running back Nick Chubb recorded a video of himself squatting over 500 pounds a couple days ago. Chubb has needed 2 surgeries for a knee injury he suffered 8 months ago. The Browns also agreed to a 3-year, $15.9 million extension with kicker Dustin Hopkins.
Good for Dustin Hopkins. It's good money if he can get it. Nick Chubb's average draft position going to jump 2 rounds. I mean, it's already, have you seen Nick Chubb? Look, he's squatting. Is he moving laterally? Is he making cut? There's a lot that goes into that.
There
is.
Know?
And I get it.
But the strength is impressive.
It's no question. Nick Chubb's a workout warrior, man. He's probably second only to Derrick Henry in the postseason. If you want to see, if you ever go to a shipyard, right, and you see like a naval ship, anchored, right? And the chains that they use that go to those anchors are second only to what Derrick Henry wears around his neck when he's working out. That guy is a nut job.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's out of the division, quite frankly. And, you know.
Now you deal with him occasionally instead of twice a year.
Right. And look, I hope we get a chance to play him in the postseason and shut him down. Daniel Thomas, where are you? We need you. All right. Kayshon Boutte, by the way, he went, talking about it can go so quickly, right? That season opener when LSU played Florida State a few years back, it's been a few years now, right? And he basically kind of pouted, didn't get the ball. The body language was terrible on the sidelines, right? And he was, coming into that season, thought of
supposed to be the guy.
It's might be a first-round pick this year. And then tumbled. And I saw his name. I didn't know if you'd have it in the rundown today. And I'm like, man, I haven't thought about him.
I know.
In a while because he's never cracked an egg.
He didn't do anything with New England.
No. Is he rostered right now?
Yes.
Who's he with?
New England.
He is still with New England. Okay. Because when you said he didn't do anything with New England, it made it sound like maybe he had moved on. Yeah. And New England's not exactly bursting with wide receiver talent at the moment. All right, let's get back to the countdown. Dylan, where are we at?
Number 3.
All right, number 3. I'll bat lead off on this one. I gave you number 5, the Jags fixing the center position. Hopefully, potential big play explosiveness at wide receiver at 4. At number 3 for me, it's the overall defensive line group. I'm excited about it. It's not just the edge rushers. It's the total combination. Now, there's a little projecting to be done here. There's no question about it. But you've got a couple of guys on the outside that combined for, 27.5 sacks last year, and Joshua Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker. You add Eric Armstead to the middle. Roy Roberts is still here. And what hopefully gets pushed by Devon Hamilton, who the Jags loved enough to give a big extension to offseason, Tony. I like the long-term potential for Mason Smith. The same with Jordan Jefferson. We've got some other vets like Adam Gotsis in the mix. Travis Gibson, what can he give you? I think there's enough pieces there, though, for me to be excited. A recent publication listed the Jags D-line as the best group in the National Football League. So I do think there's reason for optimism there.
Number 3 for me, my top couple here. Number 5, I had the 2 safeties and what I think they can do as a playmaking group for the Jags this year. Number 4, I had the wide receiver core. Number 3, center will not be a problem position for the Jaguars this season. I expect Mitch Morse to give the team a steady player and a non-liability at the position. I don't expect the offensive line to be among the top 5 to 10 groups in the league this year, but I think Morse's steadying influence gives them a real chance to be no worse than middle of the pack, which is what they were a couple of years ago, basically. They can't be any less effective in short yardage than they were last year. I also think Trevor's injuries last season in the back half of the year were enough to slow him down in trying to evade some of the things that he was able to in his first couple of seasons as the quarterback here. Improvement in the middle of the line and a healthy Trevor Lawrence is a hopeful combination for me heading into the year, that those two things together will give a chance for what I think can be the most effective wide receiver group they've had since Trevor Lawrence got here to succeed at that level.
Chance, right? I mean, like Calvin Ridley, established guy. Brian Thomas Jr. not necessarily going to walk through the door with 1,000 yards, but I'm with you on the potential that's there. You got to give Trevor time, and you got to have an effective run game to be a reasonable threat. When you're, punching it out there at 2.8 yards a carry or 3.5 yards a carry, nobody's going to worry about it. They're going to worry about your passing game.
As we've talked about plenty of times, he led the league in forced missed tackles at one point halfway through the season last year. I think he finished second in the league behind only Derrick Henry. right, in that category.
Improve the blocking.
Right. The problem was the broken tackles he was getting were 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, as opposed to at or beyond the line of scrimmage, which is what was happening the year before. He's been breaking tackles since he got on the field. He was able to do it at or beyond the line of scrimmage his first year on the field. Last year, he wasn't given that opportunity because the offensive line took a big step back.
Dylan, what you got at 3?
I'm going to say the hiring of Ryan Nielsen. I think that's somebody that can get the most out of the defensive line. Calais Campbell last year in Atlanta spoke very highly of him, and he said he even changed the way he plays the position and how he thinks of going into a game and how he practices. So I'm going to say Ryan Nielsen, number 3 for me.
All right. He may not have heard the last of Ryan Nielsen in the countdown. I think as we get closer to the top here, we're going to have a good bit of overlap, but that's okay. We encourage you to submit your top 5 today in any number of fashions, social media-wise, in the YouTube virtual studio. You can always call us on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines at 641-1010. Same with the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Looking for your top 5 reasons for optimism. That doesn't mean there aren't reasons for concern. We'll deal with that a week from today in our Tuesday top 5. But today, looking at as training camp is getting on the horizon here, what are your reasons for optimism? What makes you feel like the Jags can have a much more successful season in 2024 than they did in 2023? We'll look at as well, CBS Sports, it's hesitant now. I got to check the byline. Who's writing this? It's Cody Benjamin. He's in timeout right now. But what is the biggest question mark heading into training camp from the eyes of CBS Sports? It's not a Prisco piece, but we'll take a look at that coming up as well, because I think it'll dovetail with some of the things we've been talking about so far this morning. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark here with you. You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
You'll do anything you can to ruin my day, won't you?
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
I got up today feeling so good. You couldn't leave us alone.
Mornings on 1010XL.
We're doing so well.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends out and enjoy our spectacular golf course, which is carved out of some of the highest elevations in North Florida. Hidden Hills Golf Club, unlike any other. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality products. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Julington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
In sports, the grind outside the lines is what ultimately defines our success. Get the amateur's edge, powered by B3 Better, to learn the hidden path of top pros, amateurs, and coaches. Saturday mornings at 11 on 1010XL.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities opportunities, join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just a job, but an experience, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
Mom, it's school shopping time.
On it. Ooh, Target has select supplies like crayons and glue sticks for 25 cents, plus markers for 50 cents.
Next, my new Rockstar vibe means new clothes.
Ooh, totally. These graphic tees are $6 and made to last.
And a strawberry lunch bag to match my sweet personality.
Got it, and it's only $5. Plus, get your favorite Good and Gather snacks. They're now at a new lower price.
Best team ever.
When it comes to low prices, Target has your back to school.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org.
Bueller Aaron Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, a paint color namer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Irving Stapler.
Hi, Howie.
So the next round is word association. I'll say a word and you give me the first word you think of. Engagement ring.
Jeweler.
Gas station.
Fueler.
Aaron Burr.
Dueler.
Air conditioning.
Wow. Jeez. That's a toughie.
Come on, Irv. The sponsor's going to kill me now.
Oh, Bueller.
That's right, Irv. If your AC is struggling through the summer heat, the first name you should think of for fast, friendly, 5-star service is Bueller Air and Plumbing. The name to know to make sure you are cool.
Have a beer, Irv.
Cooler.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Hey folks, Curtis Dvorak here. Are you a golfer, pickleball player, or a concert lover? Well, if you said yes to any of those, join me for the first ever Patriot Games on Saturday, September 21st at the Yards in Ponte Vedra. All proceeds benefit Operation New Uniform, which is a transition training program for service members, veterans, and military spouses. For more information, visit onuvets.org. That's onuvets.org. Hope to see you there.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, yeah, I want to shoot, baby, shoot.
Jaguars Today
On 1010XL.
All right. Optimistic day, Tony, around these parts. Feel Good Tuesday is what it is. Why not? It's the summer. You can say anything you want. You know, some people in the past have said the Jags would go 16-1, right?
Yes,
this kind of time of year.
So this guy right here.
That guy. Yeah. That guy over there who's got 2 thumbs. Him. And said they were going 16-1 last year. I get it. Reasons for optimism. We get a little out over the skis from time to time on it. That's fine. Nobody's saying the Jags are going to tune into this show and go, well, hell, they said we're going 12-5, so we don't need to show up.
Yeah. It will happen.
And how it'll happen. Big announcement today. Throwbacks are coming. And the unveiling, I'm sure on all the Jags social media platforms, Jaguars.com, will come on Thursday, coming up this week. By the way, Johnny O will be in studio with me on Thursday, typically on Wednesday. He's had some shifting responsibilities, I guess, in recent days. But then, of course, Tommy Mack on Friday. Tomorrow's show, work in progress. Pardon our dust as we put it all together here for you. All right, let's get back. Today's countdown. As I mentioned, positivity and optimism. What are your top 5 reasons for optimism heading into training camp? Dylan, please.
Number 2.
All right, where are we at? Tone, I think, is up for number 2.
Yeah, the improvements of the depth and quality of players on the defensive interior and the dividends that should pay in the team's ability to rush the passer as a whole and stop the run, which was a big problem in the last month of the half of the season last year. They sign Eric Armstead, get a healthy Devon Hamilton, we hope, draft Mason Smith in the second round, draft a player that looks like the most like a true nose tackle for the team since Doug Peterson got here, at least, in the 4th round in Jordan Jefferson. Still have Roy Robertson Harris, who's a good pro, and their only loss is Foley Fatukasi, who was a disappointment in his 2 seasons here. So I do think there is a real cause for hope and optimism for how much that group on the interior of the defensive line should be improved and what that could do for 2 guys that on the outside played the way they did last year. I do think that helps Josh, and he just had a historic season from a Jaguar. You know, like this should help him. It should help Trayvon Walker to get more advantageous matchups too. But the improvement along that defensive interior and the dividends that should pay for everybody up front, I think has the opportunity to be huge this year.
A few less double teams on Josh Hines Allen,
Mm-hmm.
or if they continue to double team him, the hope is now you've upgraded the personnel that can take advantage of some of their one-on-one
They might have somebody on the interior that can win a one-on-one matchup every now and then.
Amazing. Yeah. All right, Mr. Denmark, what you got at number 2?
I'm going to say the signing of Mitch Morris, that should improve the offensive line. The offensive line is not something that gets talked about a lot unless the quarterback has pressure constantly. And it's one of the reasons why most teams are good or not good, by and large. If you look at last year, every team that made, by and large, a long playoff run, they were able to have a good offensive line. They were able to run the football effectively. What could not Jacksonville do last year? Run the football effectively. If the offensive line can be good and a lot better than they were a year ago, Jacksonville can run the football and they can win the division, host a home playoff game, and they'll be in the Final Four for the AFC, and then who knows what goes from there.
It's so true, though. Offensive line, one of those things, when you don't hear about it, it's probably a good thing, right? You see that post from Sharp Football yesterday on social media, quarterbacks who dealt with the most pressure and on the percentage of dropbacks, but it was such a kind of a deceiving thing, right? You think, all right, Trevor Lawrence's offensive line wasn't great. He'd be under pressure and harassed all the time. Like the number 1 guy on the list was Justin Fields, who threw under 47% of the time. But the question then becomes, was he holding the football too long, right? Is he processing quickly enough, getting rid of the football, or is he creating pressure on himself because he's too slow going through his progressions? Trevor Lawrence is down in the mid-30s. I want to say maybe 37%. It was lower than a number of what you would call star quarterbacks on there. But again, I think it's a stat that by itself is hard to understand the significance of.
Especially with the way last season played out. The back half of the season, when Trevor's dealing with a different injury every week, you could see it on the field, the way they were calling plays, get it out of his hand, out. Everything they did was quick, right? For the last 5-6 weeks, it affects the opportunity for him to get pressure. I thought he got pressured a ton, especially 2 years ago. I didn't think the offensive line was great. I thought it was okay. And I thought Trevor Lawrence's escapability helped everybody, right? And at the back half of last year, with all the injuries he was dealing with, that was affected by what they could do in the offense, and it showed up in the way they felt like they needed to call it, to give the offense a chance to be functional week to week because of the issues they had up front and the issues they had with a quarterback that was healthy enough to play, but not healthy, right? So it affects different things that you're doing week to week, and it affects that kind of stat directly, I think, given him being in that kind of category. Watching the games last year, I felt like he got pressure plenty, right? Anytime he held the ball, I was like, oh my gosh, are they ever going to block for him for the back half of the year? Hopefully that changes a little bit this year.
All right, my number 2, I've already weighed in on the offensive line, particularly the center position. Hopefully, on paper, is solved or upgraded significantly. I'm going to the defense here, and as I've seen from a lot of people that submitted the list today, they agree with this Ryan Nielsen and the scheme that he's bringing. I look at this personnel, though, and I talk about how excited I am about the defensive line group, right? Tackles, edge rushers, the potential that's there. We've got a pro caliber middle linebacker in Foye Oluokun. Can you unlock the talent that Devin Lloyd possesses in his body? You've got a lot of options in the secondary, and I think they've tried to rebuild it under the eye of what Ryan Nielsen is looking for in his defense. And the thing that gives you hope is, Mike Caldwell came in here as first coordinator, and it's tough as a first-time coordinator. He earned the opportunity, but he wasn't that innovative. It seemed like things got stagnant. Ryan Nielsen came into New Orleans, and as we talked about some of these numbers yesterday, jumped their numbers up in the top 10 in terms of points allowed and all kinds of different key stats. Goes to Atlanta, and they put up the best numbers that they had in over half a decade in a lot of the key stats as well. So he had instant impact improvement on those two situations in back-to-back years. So while he's bounced around a little bit, it's not because he hasn't been in demand, and the Jags got him in here and I think are really excited about the potential what he brings. Now, tell me, again, a defensive coordinator doesn't say we're going to be multiple, we're going to be talking about pressure and all this stuff. But the guys that you hear talking about, coming out of minicamp and stuff really seem to like what they're hearing. And it feels like Ryan Nielsen comes in with more of a concerted plan to put things in motion. I think he's got the personnel. I look at it, I don't think the Jags have the best defensive personnel in the league, but I don't look and go, there are too many glaring holes. There's some questions about, and we talked about it yesterday, who's going to be that third linebacker when they're in a three-linebacker set. How are they going to utilize all those different defensive backs? But if you've got a good mind that can come up with some creative avenues, they've got a lot of potential versatility with that defensive back group. So, I just think what he brings overall in molding the talent that they have on that side of the ball is why I've got this as high as it is on my list.
Yeah, and I think if you're going to list the severity of the issue as far as just compared to the rest of the league, if you're going into a season where one of the things we're looking at as an issue for the football team is who's the third linebacker, I think from a league perspective,
that's pretty far down.
That's as far down the list as basically you can get in the NFL in 2024. I'm not saying it's an issue that has no impact, but it's an issue that has less impact than, say, do we have anybody that can rush the passer at all? And I think there are some teams in the league that are in that position. Where are we going to ever hit the quarterback? I think there are teams that feel that way about some of the stuff that they have to deal with getting ready for the season. Jacksonville doesn't have that question, right? We feel like we've been talking about it on our list today. We feel like they've answered some of the questions on the defensive interior. I think having questions about what the secondary is going to look like are legitimate, because we don't know how any of it's going to be put together. But they have a lot of intriguing options.
Young and veteran alike.
Right. In the secondary, third linebacker, that's like the tight end thing a couple of years ago to me. I think it's one of those last kind of things you add to anything that you're doing. If you can be great at all the positions, awesome, but I don't think you have to be.
Keep in mind everything's rosy today. It's reasons for optimism. Our number one. What might the number one reason for optimism be? We'll discuss coming up, and I will get to that CES piece. It's all about the biggest question heading into training camp, because it's something we've all touched on so far this morning. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Dylan Denmark. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. What more can I say about Awaken 180? Maybe I should say, what less can I say? There's a lot less of me, certainly since last September. I was already losing weight, but you get down to a point where you're kind of stuck on a number. I need to lose another 25 pounds roughly, and I was able to do that very quickly in about 4 or 5 weeks with Awaken 180. And the beauty is, the promise is that you'll keep the weight off. Well, a little skeptical going in, because I've had this lose weight, put it back on gradually or sometimes quickly. With Awaken 180, that weight has stayed off. In fact, I'm even a few pounds below where I was last September right now, and it's become quite easy for me. It's not even a routine. It's not even a thought. Awaken 180's got my back. They'll have your back too. Hit your goal weight with Awaken 180. You get free support and coaching for life. How do you get on board? 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or schedule a free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios at 1010XL. He's 1010XL's best offensive lineman. Whoa! Sorry, 71.
For real?
Leon Searcy.
He's just getting his game back.
Afternoons 2 to 4.
Tell me they got that in slow motion.
On 1010XL.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Save money while beautifying your home with Renewal by Andersen with their energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Their exclusive Fibrex product is chic, tough, easy to maintain, and twice as strong as vinyl. Right now, buy 4 windows or patio doors and get the 5th free, plus 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. Restrictions apply. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Pick it here for Bout 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bout 9. Visit Bout 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bout 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
Now that's what I call high-quality H2O.
If you want high-quality water in your home at a fair price that won't scare you to death, then talk to someone who knows water and is not a pushy salesman. Contact your local water boy, Keith. I install premium equipment and can repair or even rebuild your existing system. In a business known for aggressive sales tactics, let me show you how my approach is different. If you've got any water problems, contact the water boy at waterboyjack.com.
Right now, you may be running a little late, or feeling stressed, or overwhelmed, and you may be going a bit over the speed limit. So to help you relax, exhale. Ease up on the gas. You'll get there when you get there. Take a moment to just chill. This little break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
College football starts with SEC Football Media Days.
Let's go!
Players, coaches, college football insiders.
He's our quarterback. He's our leader.
Brought to you by Window World of Northeast Florida and Kanaya Water Jacksonville on 1010XL.
Are you feeling the heat? It's time to cool things down with Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Contact us today at 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning to keep you cool and comfortable all year round.
Craving a cold one? Well, zip into one of the great gate locations you see all over town and pick up a cold Bud Light, or a Natty, or an Ultra, maybe a 12-pack of the King of Beers, or some cold Coronas. It's all happening at your local gate convenience store. Slide on in today.
Raid wants to know, what would you do if you could confidently face every day knowing you and your loved ones are protected? Would you sing along to your favorite song at the top of your lungs? Turn off the GPS and let your heart do the guiding. Go to the drive-thru and order one of everything. Feel the buzz of confidence of knowing you are protected with 65 years of insect science in your hands. Raid. Protection for everyone.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time home buyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time home buyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time home buyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time home buyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time home buyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time home buyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. Yes, 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Hello, sports fans. Hickett here. Let's talk skin. Iron Beach's Dermatology are reminding you to wear your sunscreen. If you're an active parent hanging at the fields, in your boat to fish, or like to chill at the sandbar, wear sunscreen. But if you're the one that decided for years it's not cool, guess what? Cancer isn't cool either. So when grabbing the clubs for your tea time, gassing up the boat, or grabbing the chairs for your kids' games, make sure you bring the screen. Any concerns now? Give Beaches Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, somebody on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures points out, Tony, that Thursday is Shad Khan's birthday.
Yes.
So with the throwbacks coming out, I'm pretty sure that's not why they did it. Okay.
So it's for Jeff Lageman's birthday.
It's not for Jeff Lageman's birthday either.
So it's for my birthday.
It's your birthday coming up on Thursday.
Yeah.
So there you go. Do the three of you guys get together and do at least a group text every year?
I wish. No.
Do you? I mean, what might be in there?
No.
Here's my Venmo.
Right. If I had access to texting Shad Khan, that would be that's like 4 layers beyond my reach.
Happy B-Day.
Right. Like that kind of thing. Right. Yeah.
Exclamation point.
We're not doing any of that. No.
Big smiley emoji or something like that. What emoji would you use to wish Shad Khan a happy birthday? Would it just be like the typical one, like the one wearing the party hat with the little noisemaker?
I guess, yeah. Like I hardly celebrate my own birthday, much less.
Can we get an emoji for the new stadium of the future? Wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think the celebrity birthday on July 18th is Vin Diesel, I believe.
Groot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What he's best known for. He should be.
Yes.
In my house, what he's best known for.
Yes.
Don't know
if they know that he's the voice of Groot.
I think I've watched one of the Fast and Furious movies ever.
Yeah.
It was the one where they hooked the semi up to a helicopter or something like that. You know, it was one of the more recent ones.
Yeah.
I think The Rock was in it.
I saw the first few. Every now and then I see that they're on.
Very popular.
Yeah.
I mean,
I get it.
If you're into
it's your thing, it's your thing.
It's your thing. Yeah. Right, exactly. I could care less as far as that goes. But happy birthday, Groot. A little early. Throwbacks coming for that quartet.
Yeah, I am rewatching the whole MCU right now.
Oh, the whole thing, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's a bunch of stuff in this 4th stage of it that I'm kind of hit or miss on.
You doing the TV stuff?
Yeah.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it all.
Yeah. Like yesterday, I'm up to it where yesterday I watched The Avengers. So going through the whole thing.
You got a ways to go.
Oh, yeah. We got a ways to go.
Avengers, if the Avengers comes on, it will stay on generally. I've probably seen Endgame twice in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and I caught it early, and I'm like, I'm locked in on this.
Here we go, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'll shed a tear when Cap picks up the hammer. Avengers assemble. All right. We'll get back to the countdown here in a moment. I'm sure a shocker coming at number 1 for reasons for optimism for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We haven't heard the name yet, yeah.
CBS Sports NFL training camp, every AFC team's biggest question mark heading into training camp. It's, again, making sure it's not a Cody Benjamin byline right there. It's, heaven forbid we forget that Joshua Hines Allen plays for Jacksonville or in the National Football League at all. But very fair.
Or his name or what year he's going into his career.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All those the minor details, Tony. Yeah. Minor details when you're a national NFL writer. Question, did the Jags do enough to improve the O-line? Well, we've talked about they have done something to improve the O-line. All right, here's what they said about the circumstance. The Jags believe that injuries and a lack of continuity were the main reasons why their O-line struggled last year, especially when it came to running the ball. And, that's some truth in that. To help address those issues, they made a splash in free agency when they were able to sign former Pro Bowl center Mitch Morse. Ooh, now he's a splash signing. That's kind of nice, but he was certainly a solid signing. Personally, and I'll tell you who the byline is here in a second, but personally, I think the Jags O-line will be better this year, says CBS Sports, with the addition of Morse and the expected growth of Ezra Cleveland, who's never really fully healthy, right? And this is a guy they targeted, like, hey, we think he can come in here. We've identified him, gave him a contract. Young guy, hopefully his best football is ahead of him.
Yeah.
Also, the expected growth of second-year right tackle Anton Harrison. This is a weird one. The development of rookie fourth-round pick Javon Foster, whom the Jags view as their future swing tackle, is also key. I
don't know if that's how they view him or not.
Right. Well, I mean, let's find out.
Yeah.
Right?
Like he might be their right tackle starting next year.
Might be their left tackle starting next year.
We don't know exactly what that is.
And he could end up being a swing tackle. And if that's what he ends up being in the fourth round, and it's a good one, an effective one, that's not a waste of a pick.
Yeah.
But the Jags need veterans Brandon Sheriff and Cam Robinson to stay healthy after injuries hindered their effectiveness in recent years. Very fair. Little piece right there at CBS, which, it hasn't always been the case. Recently, that was by the well-traveled Brian Diardo. Don't know Brian, but he's higher in the CBS rankings than Cody Benjamin is for us.
And alphabetically.
That as well.
First name.
First name. Okay, first name.
I was going first name.
All right,
there.
Benjamin versus Diardo.
Yeah.
Where you're going, your mind, you've got 8 minutes to vacation is where you're at right now. The birthday boy, the soon-to-be birthday boy, coming up. All right, Mr. Denmark, let us conclude our portion of the countdown.
10-10
take.
Now, Mike Dempsey's 10-10 take, brought to you by Leonard Truck Accessories.
I still need that number one. Get it
number one.
There it is. All right, so much better. We combine all the necessary items there together. Your 10-10 take. Look, it's my take, but I think it's Dylan's turn in the rotation. So Denmark, lead us off.
I'm gonna say number one reason for optimism this year is Trevor Lawrence has all the pieces around him to be the most successful he's been since he's been in Jacksonville. You have probably the best receiving core around you since you've been here. Your offensive line is good. You have a good running back with ETN. The play calling, it's only an issue when you lose. When 2 years ago when they were going down the stretch and they were winning, it wasn't an issue at all. Trevor Lawrence has the best pieces around him to be successful, and we'll see what happens.
On paper, I agree with that, right? Like, again, we don't know how the offensive line is going to play out. We don't know how quickly Brian Thomas Jr. is going to acclimate to the National Football League. If Gabe Davis is asked to have a bigger role in terms of target share than he's ever had. We don't know how these things are going to necessarily work out, but I think you're right. We talked about there's reasons for optimism in a lot of these areas. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence, it's more than just Trevor Lawrence has the pieces around him, Tony. I think Trevor Lawrence himself is ready to take a step forward. At least I'm choosing to look at it optimistically that way. Don't have to worry. You know your place is secure. You're the franchise guy. Jags have gone out there and added a few new toys for you, but you've seen a little bit of the ups and downs of the NFL, right? You've seen the Urban Miller era. You saw Trevor then in his second year finish with a 15-2 touchdown to interception ratio, start off with an 8-3 record last year, and the injuries piled up. If this guy can stay healthy, I believe he's got every tool he needs to be one of the premier quarterbacks in the National Football League. Does that mean I'm predicting he will be that by the end of the season? No. But the tools are there. The circumstances are there. He has got to take it upon himself to take that internal step. No matter who is out there catching passes, he's got to throw them accurately. He's got to get the ball out on time. He's got to have better pocket awareness and hang on to the football. I think all these things are very within the realm of being able to be accomplished for Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to say easily, but I think still at 24 years old, to me, the glow of his potential has not dimmed in my eyes. Now, he's got to deliver on it, right? The contract is there. We've given you that. We've given you weapons. We've given you, hopefully, better protection. You've got good skill position guys around you. Your defense should be better, which should help the offense, right? Because you don't get into those must-throw scenarios as often in the fourth quarter. All these things together, number 16, I still have faith, and the reason I have the most faith in what the Jags might be able to do positively this year.
No drama in what was going to be on number one on all our lists. We hadn't mentioned him yet, right? Trevor Lawrence, number one for me as well. The man is healthy, and now he's paid. Our question of the day on Friday was, what would a breakout season for Trevor Lawrence look like? I said something with 30-plus touchdowns in that 10 to 14 turnover kind of ranking, that kind of season, and If that's the kind of season that I think he's going to have, I think the team wins at least 11 games. right? If he has that kind of year, I think the team wins at least 11 games. What wasn't really talked about all that much in that conversation on Friday was how confident I am or am not that he will have that kind of season. Let his placement on this list where he is for me today speak to how confident I am that Trevor Lawrence is going to have that kind of season. I'm confident that Trevor Lawrence is going to have that kind of breakout year for the Jags here in 2024 for a bunch of different reasons. A bunch of them are on the list today. I think the offensive line's improvement does help him. I think the pieces they put together in the wide receiver room does help him. I think his health obviously has a big effect on how effective he's going to be as a player this year. And, not having to think about the money, not that I'm saying that was distracting him at all last year at any point in time, but now it's not even in the atmosphere, right? Going into year 4 with it, is this going to happen? When's this going to happen? Any of those kind of questions? Nope. All of that is already handled for Trevor Lawrence. I expect him to be a breakout player, for the breakout player for the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2024.
And I'm with you. But all that said, there are a lot of things that are not within his control, right?
No doubt.
I mean, last year, you get key injuries to Zay Jones and Christian Kirk. It greatly hampers the weaponry.
No doubt.
Those guys got to stay healthy. The Jags pass catchers, offensive line has to do their job. There's so many things that go into it, but the potential is there, and that's what we're talking about. Look, does it mean that it's all apple pie and smiles? No, but these are the reasons we're optimistic.
Yeah, my optimism for the 2024 Jaguars is rooted in my optimism for Trevor Lawrence, right? Like that's the root of this whole thing for me. Everything else grows out of that. My confidence in Trevor Lawrence being able to take a big step forward this season for the team is at the bottom of everything else that I think the team can accomplish this year. Is the big step forward for Trevor.
Almost, and not unanimous, but overwhelmingly the number one on most of the lists that have been submitted is Trevor Lawrence, although it's one. Nick goes from 5 to 1. Christian Kirk, dog. Trayvon Walker, dog. Eric Armstead, dog. Allen Hines, dog, or that's Hines Allen to you, Nick. And Trevor, dog. And then finally, immediately followed by Darth Edge. Surely Trevor will finally be better than meh. So, it's still Trevor number one on the list. That's more of a hesitatingly placed Trevor Lawrence in that one. But, hey, again, optimism is one thing. Got to go out and prove it now. Dylan, won't we tie a bow on this one?
Now the cool down with Donovan Air Electric Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
I think as you look today, as we do the show, we're looking at the 5 reasons that we're most optimistic for the Jags. There are plenty of reasons to be optimistic. Right now, we're not trying to look through teal-colored glasses. Next week, we'll do the opposite side of the coin. There are causes for concern. We're optimistic that the offensive line is going to be better. It's got to be proven out. We're optimistic that Trevor Lawrence is going to put it all together and have his best season, but he's got to go out there and do that. With all this, it's all about potential, but I think there is enough out there that if you're a Jaguar fan and you want to cling to some positivity, there are plenty of reasons to have that optimism, because there are plenty of reasons where there is potential improvement on this team, whether it's the defensive line, it's Ryan Nielsen's scheme, it's explosive playmakers, it's Mitch Morse coming in to plug that hole at center, at least the perceived hole at center, the growth of Trevor Lawrence. It's all out there for you. And, so now go do it, right? We're getting that much closer to the talking will subside a lot, and the proof will be in the results on the field, and that won't come until September, even no matter what we see in training camp. We'll get excited, we'll get hyped up, but it's still got to get done on the field when it matters most. All right, that's going to do it for us today on the program. Tony, enjoy your next few days off.
Thank you, sir.
Happy early birthday
as
well. And, let me know what Shad's newest yacht is like as you and Logs are knocking back a few cocktails on your joint birthday coming up in a few days.